Greetings, my friends. I'm Andrea, astrologer. What a roller coaster this week was. I need to recon it, although we foresaw it quite well with a dip in the beginning of February, actually between 2nd, 4th. This happened indeed, and it really destroyed the sentiment and the hope in an altcoin season from what I see. But I think it is not so doom and gloom as it looks like for now. I do think this cycle will be different because we have the politics involved, and in the beginning there will be a lot of changes, like I mentioned, for February. Bitcoin hot in the news, so check my short if you didn't see it. Until the 12th of February, we might have this big turmoil that any news, today is like this, tomorrow is the other way around, and it affects the price like crazy. We got a almost 20% correction in any case, and then went up half of the decrease, so to speak. And I'm happy today on the 6th of February that I do see the markets recovering and really trying to touch again the 99K right now as I film this, and we have this hopeful Rahu-Jupiter aspect, which is in line with the Rahu-Pluto sextile at the beginning of the year on the 6th of January, as you remember, but this time it is in the Bitcoin chart, and it really shows explosive growth, which is Rahu in Jupiter matters, which in financial astrology is about the market cap. Now, how this really goes into the dominance of BTC, it's another story, but we will explore this as time goes on and it's relevant. Now, despite of the Mars out of bounds and still a retrograde, it's important to be patient and calm, because otherwise, in general, one doesn't have success with investing and trading. Just saying this because I see the sentiment is also, it's a lot of frustration and a lot of sadness, maybe. I do not know, but it's not all gone, I would say. So let's stay hopeful and optimistic. But the question is, after this, what will happen next week with this peak, turning in energy with Mercury going into the 8th house of Bitcoin, which is the house of transformation and crisis. That is really a fact, and it happens. So let's go into it. And as usual, I will give you a peek, a sneak peek at the astrology, the global astrology. Then we will go into Bitcoin, into Ethereum and altcoins with members, and we cover also the gold topic, the XAU index. So let's go. Global astrology in the mid of February. Actually, we cover this week from February 10th to February 16th, and let's dive into this. I really took note of all the transits because it's quite rich and I don't want to miss something, and I would like to give you an overview and an interpretation for each of them. So bear with me for this. I think it will be an interesting week. But first of all, before I go into that and tell you everything about this week, I want to tell you that it is important to never forget that the astrology of the weekend has an impact at the beginning of the next week. Usually it happens and a bit of it will be there. And the good news this time is that despite of the fact that we still have some negative influences that are more temporary at hourly level, basically we have overall positive energy at day level. So especially in case that we don't see much volume and we see the typical weekend consolidation or up and down, even with bigger volume, because we had some transfer of BTC, I believe, to exchanges. That is quite significant this week. So I think something could be prepared for the weekend. I filmed this again on the 6th, so we will need to see what happens. But basically, Monday should have a positive start because of the aspects from the weekend. So first of all, it's into the mix. Put it into the mix. Let's explore this in now for the whole week. And yes, I need to read it because there are too many. So let's see what we have. It is a Monday, February 10th. Again, I talk about the UTC time zone. The easiest is to configure your settings in a trading view for the UTC time zone, or when you convert with the time converter dateful, for example, or another one of your choice to your local time zone. UTC currently the location is London, England, UK. So I hope this is clear so that we avoid confusion, because sometimes I get questions saying, other days and so on, and I discover that we talk about New York actually. So it's important to have this in mind. We do have here a good view on Monday, which starts again with some positive energy from the weekend, like we said, and we do have that would be the background for the day, so to speak, from the weekend, also taking into account what happens for Bitcoin. And on the global astrology, we do have negative astrology for this day, and it is a Mercury square Uranus. And Mercury is about markets and news, and Uranus, it's the volatile fire that we have. And this is a stressful aspect that happens in the evening UTC time zone, and it can dump the market after it pumped it well, I believe, because this will happen. But we might get this fire in the second part of the day, or even next day. If the astrology is delayed with the positive aspects, this can happen the next day, February 11th. And we go now into the details for February 11th, which unfortunately are in the same tone of volatility, which is another dump that would be a flash dump, most presumably again around the evening hours for the UTC time zone, and it's a Sun square Uranus. Again, this comes sort of unexpected. Maybe it will not be even caught for the lower time frame TA. So be attentive, be cautious also on Tuesday. And I see it associated with some, again, regulatory political news, because Sun is politics and Mercury is this news and markets and trading. And basically, this happens at the moment when Mercury really goes into Aquarius, in the sidereal Aquarius. So it's like this 7th house of Capricorn that it crossed until mid-February on the 12th. It is really a point where it was a roller coaster because of the news. Now it will be a roller coaster also because it will finish, this transit. And I think, yes, something could happen again in the global macro that is disturbing. But it will not last long, because on the same day, again in the evening, the aspect is exact, but it's active at day level. So you need to see this as the energy of the day. It comes to the rescue with a mid-intensity green aspect, which is positive, a Mercury trine Lilith. So it's quite instilling adventure and risk appetite in a way for trading, but be really attentive not to get liquidated, because stop losses will be really difficult to set. If you are super skilled, maybe you do that, but it's this Uranus energy that can really dump it to levels that we don't really see. But if you noticed, BTC is really dumped to levels that are higher. So the lows are somehow higher despite of the whole disorder in the price action. Now on Wednesday, we do get a break on the 12th of February, but I want to warn for the ones that are trading Bitcoin that it is a red day in general, so be careful about that. So I would say that the first part of the week after Monday, it is a bit dangerous. But the landscape really changes on Thursday, on the 13th, when we do have a Sun trine Lilith. And this is in the global astrology, signaling again good news from government, politics, people in power. So it's about the Sun regulation, and Lilith, which is again this spirit of adventure, this risk appetite that is increased, and people really want to go for it, so to speak. And then on Friday, we do have really a break again for the global astrology, but it is pretty good, I would say, despite of some volatility. That's we get Friday, February 14th. I will tell you something interesting about it if you stay until the end of the video. And we have Saturday and Sunday, the weekend, with basically no day level global astrology. So this is what we have here, and it is in general, I would say, balanced, mixed, but it's more positive than negative, especially on a Saturday for Bitcoin. So I shared this with you as well, so that you are aware if something really happens during the weekend and there is volume and you still have some opportunity to trade, but do it with care. So I would say volatile dumps in the first part of the week until the 12th of February, most likely. Again, all days are UTC time zone, and the other part is that from Thursday we should see again things going up. It could be that we do have big volume, I would say. Why? Because this Venus, and this is what I want to share, it's at a culmination point on the 14th of February, on the Valentine's Day, which is Venus. It's about love, relationships, and it is really a very bright star. So Venus is the bright night star on the night sky, and it has a maximum of visual magnitude, which means that if it's so bright, it will influence the prices in the markets, especially forex, so currencies and cryptocurrencies, in a powerful way. And this will be really highlighted by the fact for Bitcoin, I would say, that it is in the sidereal sign of Pisces, which is the exalted position. I know that in tropical it's already in Aries, and you might be aware of that because more of you follow the tropical astrology. But this is important for Bitcoin because it's in a positive angle with the ascendant. And whenever this happens, it is important for the view of the next weeks, because we will have this transit in Pisces in the next weeks and even months in the sidereal sign of Pisces, because Venus will turn retrograde, and this is very important to consider in terms of longer term influence that is really special. I think it will be, I don't know, I will check exactly, and I will make a video with more details on this, how long this retrograde period would really last. But in general, it will be beneficial for Bitcoin overall, being a protection layer to other malefic influences that still happen. So I hope this was interesting for you. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing. It helps the channel. And now I would like to go with the members in more details. And don't forget, with this Mars, be calm and joyful. See you. My dear Patreon subscribers and Telegram members, welcome to this weekly update for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and altcoins. And I would like to share some things with you at first, and then we dive directly into the topic. It was a roller coaster this week, and I warned you about the dump on February 2nd, 4th, and unfortunately, some of you told me it didn't go well. Of course, it is a matter, it's a big way, I know, between the astrology and really making the money, because it's about TA, it's about our personal decision, conviction, and what we see that is really happening. So I respect that. I want only to tell you that it is important to stay calm, because this sense of frustration is now very, very strong with Mars retrograde and out of bounds in the markets. And I'm referring also to the market as such, to the sentiment in the market, and so on. And I think we all feel it. I feel it as well. I am also not making the progress that I wanted, and had to really revise some things for myself as well. It's really tough in the markets, and it depends also how you are affected personally by this Mars. So for me, it's not in the best position. It affects me financially as well, and maybe you are also in a similar situation. So just want to say that the ones that really had tricky times right now need to be more careful, because it is possible that the personal astrology really kicks in, and it's not the best one. This is valid for me as well. I'm also human, and I'm affected by the planets. And this being said, I would like to say that I created for you a tutorial for Patreon for direct messages, mainly because I see that the functionality is not seen by some people, and it is also outside of my control how they design the user interface. But I hope this will help, and I also show you how to find the financial cheat sheet in case you didn't. And this is something that I want to share as well with you in that tutorial. I link it here, and please have a look at it. Even if you are not new to Patreon, but maybe you don't know how to do these things, then have a look. It is quite quick and informative. Now, I would like also to thank you very much for the ones who entered the votes for the poll. And the poll referred to the fact that for gold and platinum members, how do we go forward with the altcoin? And I am aware, of the whole topic with the altcoin season, and the fact that we don't believe it will happen anymore. And so yes, it's a lot of turmoil, and I'm aware of this. But the thing is that the idea was, do we continue with the 8 altcoins that you vote, and we then deliver the astrology report? And some of them could be that they have also bad astrology, and we see nowadays, I think good astrology is a precondition, even if it's short term. And I really put you with the choice that you want, 5 altcoins instead, that would be fished astrologically to have good transits, because the fishing also takes time. I don't change the price, so for me needs to be also attractive, so to speak, so to do it. And I see that most of you are more on leaning on the 5 altcoin side. And I saw some votes. In case you didn't vote and want to really cast your vote, please do it in the next week. I would highly appreciate that, so that I can prepare, all things, because March I have a lot of work with all the eclipses, with Venus going retrograde, and what the hell else happens. So it will be astrologically a very eventful month that I have to talk and to inform you about. So a lot of material to prepare. The sooner I know how to proceed, I think in 1 week I will take the decision for March to really go into these 5. And of course we will share, we will discuss, when we can really go for it in another way, and we try. If it doesn't work, we can switch back to the old method, so to speak. And now let's go into our agenda of the day, and we start with Bitcoin. With all the roller coaster this week, I want to remind you that we do have the long-term aspect on the 6th, which is pretty big. The ones who are new, you can scroll at the end of the entry and click on the financial cheat sheet where you can find an explanation of all the symbols. Of course, I will briefly outline, the whole outlook here. And this is a long-term aspect from Rahu towards Jupiter, which is the market cap for Bitcoin. And it is increasing. This is something that would be seen in the next month, especially I would say the next 2 months for Bitcoin. And this is really protective in terms of price action, because all the negative influences should be less, so should be lower in magnitude. This is what I want to say, at least astrologically. Of course, it depends how money they get in or put out of the whole system. Now we do have the week that we need to focus on from the 10th to the 16th of February, so the mid of February, where you can see that we do have volatility. This is symbolized by the fires in the markets, and I talked about this also in the introduction. And we can expect Monday positive, but then it will be mixed, and I told you also the global astrology is challenging, and you see that we do have the horoscope of Bitcoin triggered as well on the 11th and 12th with red aspects. The one on 11th is really more intense, so you can see it's maximum red intensity, and it's active for the day, but we do have also positive influences, so it will be diminished. I would not really expect a big dump or a disaster. Then we go in the second part of the week, where we should see recovery, improvement. This is in line with the global astrology that is supported by Bitcoin as well. So this means that the likelihood that we see increases is even increased. So please be patient and also optimistic about it. Yeah, we will have some corrections. You know how Bitcoin is. It could dump a bit, but we will have overall at day level good direction in the weekend. Now, next week, we can already feel that we do have this aspect which is really negative. I will talk more about it next week, but be prepared that the end of the month we will have, I think this could be diminishing aspects and it will not grow that much. This is what I hope. I really don't feel another dump will come next week, but it could come here, at the end of February, because we do have also Mars turning. This would be longer perspective on the 24th. So I really hope that the next week will be more quiet, and we will have a increase in the second part of the week, more likely to be sure from Thursday UTC onwards. So this is how I see Bitcoin. So let's look at the other big hot topic, which is Ethereum now. Ethereum from the 10th of February to the 16th of February. So you can see at a glance that it is basically a bit opposite from the Bitcoin experience, and maybe whatever happens now, it's a sign that it will be a split or a decoupling of the financial system, with Ethereum going slightly in another direction, but still controlled by institutions, I would say. And we will need to see what happens here, but important is to really take into account this big aspect on V11th, which is a long-term aspect that is for 6 months roughly, and it already shows its mid-intensity. It's very rare, and it already shows, if you follow the news, that Eric Trump also advertised Ethereum. A lot of people buy it, also net worth individuals and institutions as well. So I think something big is preparing, and I also see this coming suddenly. I think I repeated the longer term subscribers know that from the beginning of the year I told that something big will happen for Ethereum, but it will be quite volatile. And it is a positive volatility, especially induced by Uranus. It's a Uranus-Mars positive aspect for the ones that are into details and want to know that. And for the week, still locally, we do have red instead of green for the second part of the week. If we compare it with Bitcoin, and I would say it will be a slowdown in the growth that it could be based on the aspect that we have here. And it is also the positive aspect from Bitcoin from the 6th of February, which is long-term and also valid. So I wouldn't really expect much. It could be that it goes quite well still with if volume is good due to the fact that it also dumped a lot and sudden, and we do have the speed energy on it. But as you see, the second part, I mean, the whole week is not really very good in terms of moving. I think the move will come a bit later. Now I would like to go into the blue chip altcoins. For the blue chip altcoins, I would rather make more longer term recommendations here, going also in the next week. I don't think I will have to go next week into such detail, because I do think we will not have happenings that really change the status of the blue chip altcoins. We need to see. It will be an interesting week again, I would say, not this one, but the other one upcoming. And I would like to say that I see Doge possibly, because it has a good aspect long term on the 15th, and we have the talk about the ETF. I think this is a longer term game, and it will happen, I think. And we do have also Solana that I really see powerful, for after the 13th. So from the 13th of February onwards, also for the next week and even the end of the month. So we will evaluate these. In any case, I will change the format most likely if people really vote for this, and we will include this maybe in a written format. I will think about it also, the blue chip altcoins, if we go only in recommendation only mode from March. So just let me know, another reminder for people to vote. The ones in the gold and platinum tier, what do they want? I will announce the poll again, so I will send you the link again in the weekly updates. And now let's dive into the gold topic. XAU, the gold and silver index, quite neutral in the first part of the week, as you see, from the 10th until the 13th. The days are neutral. On the 11th, we do have a positive aspect. So I think in the first part of the week, this has the chances to be the most positive day. And in the end of the week, we do have the negative influence on Friday, the 14th of February, towards this. So I think it will be a sort of normal week, but rather underperforming, I would say, in comparison with the other weeks. And also the weekend is neutral on Sunday, as we see slightly going up. And we have some important developments, long-term aspects in the next week that are pretty mixed, but I would say that it should increase overall, but not without a sort of dump in between. Of course, course, we don't talk about the same volatility like for crypto. So I would say a normal to bearish, slightly bearish week. This is how I would summarize it based on astrology at least. Now I would like to finish with some comment about the altcoin season. So stay with me if you are interested in the topic, maybe you are. And I know there is a lot of debate and a lot of turmoil in the market. Sentiment is really down and people are really frustrated again. And I talk this in general, and we all need to really deal with this situation. So first of all, the cycle is quite different because of politics. Yes, so this is logical, and it is also highlighted in the astrology from the aspect on the 6th of January, which was in the beginning of the year, active the whole year. Yes, it will be a room for innovation, for crypto to be accepted by the big players. So now what happens? We got a big dump on ETH, and the institutions buy ETH, and you see this propaganda towards ETH. So I think if they buy ETH, the price will go up. And astrology really shows these Uranus aspects that I'm talking about. These are also available in the yearly reports. So if you are interested and you are a member, you are entitled to 10% rebate for silver and 20% rebate for gold and platinum. But you need to direct message me. If you looked at the tutorial, you know, or maybe you discovered that, and you get your personal discount if interested. So just saying, you know, we have here Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and also the whole bundle with already with the rebate in it for the whole year. But the other ones, you get the discount if you buy an individual one, just to clarify. So I do think the liquidity cycle will be important to drive the price of assets. Also the Fed rate cuts. I left these comments and opinions in the comments to the posts that some of you had. So the idea is that when rates are cut, I think you know, some of you know at least, historically markets go up, and I refer to equity, to risk, to stock, to technology stocks, to really innovation. AI will also go up and could really explode in a big way in September, I would say, 2025. So there are a lot of signs astrologically that this innovation will happen, and AI will eat a lot of money. So this means that this money needs to be, to be taken from somewhere. So where to go? It will go in this area of innovation, digital innovation, digital assets and so on. And now that people really spend time, effort, resources to do the regulation for crypto, at least in US. So what I think it will happen is that we will get a delay. I mean, of course, we want it to be tomorrow, the beginning of the old season, but I think it will still happen, because if ETH is bought in this magnitude, so to speak, in this volume, then this will go up. And if ETH will go up, and important is that it reaches some stability. This is my single worry, that with so many Uranus aspects, it will still stay volatile. And Bitcoin is not so volatile, I would say, like ETH, but we have perspective for growth there. More details long-term are in the report that I mentioned. So the idea is that this being stable and everything is reported to Bitcoin, and to ETH as well is driving the altcoins and Solana as well, so at least part of the altcoin ecosystem. I think this will go up. Will something else go up? Yes, I do think so. Some things could go up sooner. Of course, it depends how much they dumped in terms of, current market cap. And yes, there are more high risk, the meme coins, AI coins, that we get this exposure via crypto. And some of you might not like this. It's not for everybody. And I will also not consider them, really, maybe I include one, if people really insist, like I did to Trump. I can tell you, of course, some of them, but it's up to you if you really want to mess up with them. This could really happen earlier. Why? Because as I told you, and I think you are tired of this, with the stationary planets, Uranus and Jupiter finally now going, to normal speed almost from the 6th of February onward, from the 10th. So from next week, we should not be so worried about delays anymore. So even short-term transits are quite accurate. This is what I would expect. And it was not so bad like I suspected, to be honest. So we will get more speed. And Jupiter and Uranus, I think I explained also in other videos, the ones who follow me for a while, that it's like a clock going backwards. I know that in time, so it's not physically possible, but the planets are like this. When it goes retrograde, it go like this. And when it's positive, when it's direct, it will go the other way around. But the idea is that the same portion, the same degrees will be crossed again. And we had also Mars inducing this volatility to the price action, and but also a lot of fuel, and it will stay out of bounds until the 7th of April. So I think at least from now until 7th of April, and even beyond, I would say until the beginning of June, because this is what I looked deeper into. I don't say it stops in June. No, it can continue, but I need to go into, details, because we will have planets switching signs. So a lot of work for me to do in the next months. So I would say that this goes, again, the same degrees. So all the altcoins that really increased a lot, and including Bitcoin, had this increase in the last month, it will increase as well. Of course, the other planets are not in the same position, so things will be different. And everything will happen, but at least, some aspects will be repeated again, and they will really bring their contribution to the price action. And we saw what happened. So Bitcoin jumped from 80 to 100, isn't it? Even 100, almost 110K. So I think this recovery could happen fast, relatively fast, because now planets are direct, and then they are 3 times, higher in speed. So they are 3 times faster than when they are retrograde. And the quality of the transit will change in the sense that it will go faster. And but astrology is not everything. Watch the news, especially now that Bitcoin is so political, and now ETH is also so political. And since all altcoins are expressed in terms of Bitcoin, if Bitcoin falls, everything falls. We see that. Only when it falls a little bit after, so as part of the consolidation, then that this would happen, I believe, periodical. So it could be also that we will have multiple peaks, so to speak, in the months to come, also according to the evolution of the liquidity cycle. But it's a cycle that is very different. It's politics inside it. I think it will resemble more the stock market, because they are with enough money at this market cap to really drive the price up. We retail traders cannot do that. So just be aware of that. Don't lose hope, but also for the next week, be careful for trades, especially short-term ones, because with this crazy Uranus energy, it will be difficult to put stop losses into place, unless you are a TA guru, and maybe you are. So thank you so much for your attention. I wish you a successful week ahead, and trade with care. See you.